So, good morning sa mga ballistic students. Good afternoon kung afternoon man yung schedule ninyo. So, ito yung ating unang pre-recorded video sa ating forensic ballistics. Dito ako magbe-base ng ating quiz and exam natin sa prelim. Kung yung hindi natin maabutan dito, so yung nabigay ko notes sa inyo, buo na notes na yun ating coverage. So yung gagawin ko lang dito, sa summarize ko lang for the sake those who failed to join the live discussion sa ating online class. So banat na tayo. So unang ating pinag-usapan nung nakaraan ay yung definition of terms. Basic definition of terms sa ating forensic ballistics. At ang una nating pinag-usapan ay yung definition ng ballistics sa kanyang broadest sense. Sabi niya dito, ballistic is defined as the science dealing with the motion of projectiles and the conditions governing that motion. So, the motion of projectile, yung galaw ng ating ito yung ating this is your projectile. One example of your projectile, yung galaw ng ating projectile magmula nung nilagay natin dito sa bala na fed sa barrel hanggang sa pumutok, tumama sa target hanggang sa kanyang final destination. So yun ang pag-aaralan natin sa ballistic as sa broad definition ng ating ballistics. At meron tayong tatlong kinds ng motion, yung galaw ng ating bala. So what are the three kinds of motion? So the direct motion. Ang direct motion, sabi na, the forward movement of the bullet or shots out of the shell by the action of the expansive force of gases from a burning gunpowder. So once the firing pin hit the primer ignites, and then the primer and then the gunpowder, kasunod nun yung ating gunpowder. So yung primer yung magti-trigger na masunog yung ating gunpowder, then the gunpowder burns, then gusto niya itong lumabas, diba? Nagkaroon na ng force. So pag yung ating balay nasa loob ng ating chamber, wala namang ibang labasan ng force doon. Sa likod naman, andun naman yung ating bridge. So forward, tutulak niya si bala natin. Yung unang forward movement ng ating bala ay tinatawag natin na direct motion. And then the next is the gyroscopic or the rotatory. The gyroscopic or the rotatory motion. So isipin na lang natin na barrel siya, di ba? Kahit hindi naman. So ano yung gyroscopic or rotatory? Pag labas ng ating bala, tapos papasok na siya sa ating barrel. Yung ating barrel ay meron siyang ripples and groovings, either twisted to the right or twisted to the left, depende sa make and model ng barrel natin. So dahil sa mas maliit yung barrel natin, tapos yung ating bala susunod ngayon ito sa iikot siya ngayon. Mapipihit sa kapilitan kasi susundan niya yung ating ripples and groovings, diba? So dadaan siya sa barrel, iikot siya doon. So yan yung ating gyroscopic or the rotatory motion. Sabi niya, the action of the bullet passing through a rifle bore barrel either twisted to the right or left. So yun ang pag-aaralan natin doon. Magkakaroon ngayon ng markings yung ating bullet. Kaya lang ito pinutok sa isang loose bore. Kaya hindi visible yung impression niya. Akala mo nabunot lang siya. Almost lahat. So yun yung ating gyroscopic. Then our translational motion, yung the action of the bullet once hits the target and subsequently ricocheted. So pag-aralan natin dito, paglabas So lalabas na si barrel sa gyroscopic motion, lalabas na si bullet sa barrel. Paglabas na niya, tatamaan niya yung target. Pagkatama sa target, either doon ba siya or hindi pa yun ang final destination na pwedeng halimbawa tumama sa isang matigas na bagay, then magre-ricochet pa siya or mapipenetrate pa yung ating target. So yun ang ating pag-aaralan doon. Then next, the strict sense definition of ballistics. It is the study of natural laws relating to the performance of gunpowder and projectiles in the firearms and the means of predicting such performance. It also refers to the science of firearms identification, which involves the scientific examination of ballistics exhibits, fired bullets, fired shells, firearms, and allied matters, using crimes involving scientific equipment such as bullet recovery box, bullet comparison microscope, and others. Sabi niya dito, it also refers to the science of firearms identification. Although pag titingnan natin yung ang ating firearms ID ay umbrella lang ng ating forensic ballistics. Ang ating forensic ballistics ay napaka broad, kaya nga meron siyang broad definition. So actually hindi sila ganun parehas. Broader yung ating forensic ballistics dun sa ating firearms identification. So as a science, ballistic is classified formulated and verifiable knowledge gathered by observation, research, and experiment, and based on scientific theory and using experiment equipment and apparatus. So results of firearm identification is an exact science because it permits absolute precision in the results, free from possibility of error, normal to human perception. Sabi niya, ballistic, sinabi niya ito na exact science kasi gumagamit tayo ng sa scientific process or study or processes based on magandang halimbawa na lang para madali natin maintindihan. Halimbawa yung ating pag-examine sa ating bala sa ating bullet comparison microscope. Kahit anong gawin mo pa doon, balik-baliktarin mo, ganun talaga yung resulta niya. So sabi niya dito, permits an absolute precision in the results, free from possibility of error, normal to human perception. Diba? Na hindi ka na magkakamali doon. Na kaysa sa yung sa gamit ka, wala kang ginamit na scientific procedure. Kasi gumagamit tayo ng scientific procedure, yung ano yung positive, ano yung result yun na talaga yun. So pero sabi niya, ballistics, therefore ballistic per se is not an exact science, rather a branch of physics or applied science which is subject to changes and development depending upon the demands of the modern civilization. So per se hindi siya exact science. Bakit? Kasi pwedeng mag-evolve. Dati ang gamit nila ay stereoscopic, ngayon tapos naging bullet recovery, tapos meron na tayong computerized din na nag-evolve yung ating method of examining ballistic evidences. So next, definition of terms. Punta tayo sa projectile. Ito yun, projectile. Sabi niya, means to metallic and non-metallic object propelled by means of force. So ano yung force na nagtutulak nito? Yung ating projectile, the burning expansive, yung nasunog na gas tapos nag-create ng force, yun yung nagtulak sa kanya. That is your projectile. But in other kinds of forms of firearms, may be classified as firearms, pwedeng by use of sabi na dito, means of force, pwedeng use of compressed air, diba? Pero pag hindi ito naman ay ginamit as toys, Hindi siya qualified as firearms. Pwedeng pumasok siya sa ibang case. Next, science. Alam niyo na kung ano yung science. Then next is motion. Alam niyo na yan, yung galaw ng ating bala. That's motion, the movement or mobility. Then next is forensic. So sa ating QD, alam niyo na kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng forensic, which derived from the Latin word forum, means marketplace. Kasi dati doon yung kanilang public discussion. Then forensic ballistics, pag-usapan na natin kanina yon. Now we'll go to the personalities and events in the ballistics development. Sa history na tayo. So more on pag-usapan natin yung ating muna yung mga personalities. Pero bago doon, saan ba nanggaling yung term na ballistics? The term ballistic was derived from the Greek word balo or balyen. Balo or balyen, which literally means to throw. So tatandaan nyo, another word matters yun. Greek word balo or balyen, which literally means to throw. Its root word was also said to have been derived from the name of an early Roman war machine called ballista, diba? Or the catapult, gigantic bow. Yung makikita niyo sa mga lumang pelikula, paano sila makipaglaban noon, yung may tapos lalagyan ng bato na malalaking bato, tapos tumatapon sa mga kalaban nila. So yan yung ating balista or catapult. Tandaan nyo yan, word matters yan. Balista, catapult, balyen, balo or balyen, to throw. Then personality, first personality na ating pag-uusapan. So sabi ko, sa ibang I try to elaborate more sa ating history, nakakalito lang lalo. So nag-stick na lang ako kung ano yung available sa ating mga criminology books. So ito na muna yung ating pag-uusapan. Kung mapapansin niyo, yung ating mga notes ay summarized purposely for easy reviewing. Alam niyo naman yung panahon ngayon, nakakatamad ng magbasa-basa, di ba? Mas maganda pa mag-Mobile Legend. Kaya pinipilit din natin na maging madali ang pag-aaral para sa inyo. Ngayon, if you want to further it more, I'd rather advise you to read published books rather than online, lalo kung hindi kayo marunong tumingin ng mga qualified or yung reliable resources or materials. So una ay si Hans Gross, great Austrian criminologist and considered to be the father of criminalistics. So kilala niyo na siya, di ba? Father of criminalistics. Then ano ba yung kanyang contribution sa forensic ballistics? Yung kanyang contribution ay dahil sa isang insidente na kung saan yung grandfather niya ay tinamaan ng sundalo ni Napoleon Bonaparte, naglag sa likod ng kanyang eyeball. Tapos nung mamatay yung lolo niya, ni-recover nila ito. So kailan ba nabaril yung kanyang lolo? Tingnan natin ganun kahaba, 1799. Tapos yung nung namatay yung lolo niya, 1845. Tapos nung na-recover niya yung slag, yung projectile, nakita niya na merong traces of gunpowder na pwedeng evidentiary value. So yun yung kanyang contribution. Charles White sa Amerika naman. So habang pinapanood yun to, maganda, meron na yung notes ninyo kasi kung ito lang yung wala kayong notes tapos doon pa panoorin nyo, hindi nyo gaano makuha siya kasi bibilisan natin, ha. Tapos United States of America, ano naman yung kanyang contribution? Employee siya sa New York State who conducted involving firearms. Ano naman yung contribution na? Merong farmer noong 1915 accused of murder with a gun pero hindi siya kumbinsido sa resulta. So he further had his investigation and nag-result na kung saan na-acquit yung farmer. So, yan yung kanyang contribution, diba? Then Alexander the first to recognize the significance of the striations. So, magmula nung gumamit na sila ng rifle bore firearms, so he was the first who to recognize the importance of the striations. Striations nga, ito yung once the bullet or the projectile pass through the rifle bore firearm, either twisted right or left, the twisted, susundan niya to, magkakaroon ngayon ng striations. Yun yung kanyang contribution. Then Edmond Locard, so sa ating criminalistics, popular si Edmond Locard. Ano yung sabi ni Edmond Locard? Contribution na muna sa forensic ballistics ay establish the first forensic laboratory in France. So his principal objects of surfaces, sabi ano yung kanyang principle? Objects or surfaces which come in contact always exchange trace evidence. So ganon, anumang dalawang bagay na kung saan sila ay magkaroon ng contact. Itong si projectile, tapos sa barrel, dadaan siya doon. Sino yung mas malambot? Magkakaroon yun ng markings. So ito yung mas malambot kaysa sa barrel. Naglilib ng trace si ating barrel kay bullet. Ba? Parang kahit sa traffic investigation, accident investigation nga, nabanggit ko sa inyo, magagamit din natin yung principle ni Edmond Locard. Kasi kung halimbawa nagbanggaan yung dalawang sakyan, hit and run, cases ng mga hit and run, nakakaiwan sila, possible na nakakaiwan sila, halimbawa yung pintura, diba? May mga cases nga ng hit and run na yung parts or ng katawan ng tao ay nasa sakyan, halimbawa buhok, halimbawa tumama sa kanto na kung saan merong makakalawit yung mga laman, ganun. So, which are of evidentiary value. Kaya dapat magkaroon agad ng follow-up investigation para yung mga evidences at yung mga ganun ay maprotektahan. At kayo din, kung halimbawa pagpasok niya sa serbisyo bilang the first responder, which is very important na meron kayong knowledge of sa ganto para alam ninyo yung halaga ng mga ebidensya so that you will be able to protect them. Next is Calvin Goddard. Calvin Goddard pioneered the introduction of science of ballistics in different universities in the United States. Then so marami pa. Kailan na introduce yung ating bullet comparison microscope? 1925, the bullet comparison microscope was introduced by Calvin H. Goddard. He was the first to own and use the first bullet comparison microscope. And through his efforts, he is considered as the father of modern ballistics. So dalawa na yung father, board matters natin, father of modern criminalistics, tapos father of modern ballistics. Si Hans Gross yung isa, tapos ito si Goddard. So, Colonel Calvin Goddard. Then, dito na tayo sa branch of ballistics. So, yun muna yung ating personalities in the field of forensic ballistics. Meron pa tayong history pagpunta natin sa gunpowder, pagpunta natin sa shell, pagpunta natin sa firearms. So, hindi ko mininsanan lahat para medyo naman maintindihan natin kung ano yung contribution nila sa ating pinag-aaralan. So next, branches of ballistics. So ano yung branches of ballistics na ating pag-uusapan? So interior or the internal ballistics. Ano yung nangyayari? Anong nangyayari sa interior ballistics? It refers to the properties and attributes of the projectile while still inside the gun. It covers from the time the barrel is loaded with the cartridge, the firearm is loaded with the cartridge, the explosion and movement of the bullet from the bridge to the muzzle of the gun. So magmula yan nung nilagay natin si cartridge sa loob ng ating barrel, na magumpisa na yung ating internal ballistics, diba? So ano yung nangyayari doon? Ano yung mga attributes? First is the firing pin hitting the primer. So yun yung ating primer cap sa ano lang to, birdshot na shotgun. So that is your primer. Once the firing pin hit the primer, natamaan niya ito, the priming mixture will explode. No, it's not explode. Sabi niya, in order that the primer should explode, the firing pin should hit such. This is due to the theory of friction, wherein there is a resistance to motion created by the firing pin. The failure of the cartridge to explode after firing pin strikes the primer is called misfire. So another, if the cartridge failed to explode even after the firing pin hit the primer, that is misfire, diba? So bakit pumutok yung ating priming mixture? Ang ating priming mixture ay very sensitive siya. So makakrush siya dun sa anvil. Tsaka yung ating yung portion kung saan inipit ng ating pinukpok ng ating firing pin. Madudurog yung ating priming mixture, which is very sensitive, kaya ito ay explode naman yung ginamit na term. So it will explode. Pero ano ba yung dahilan bakit hindi magkakaroon ng misfire o hindi puputok? Pwedeng una, broken firing pin, bali yung firing pin natin, loose firing pin, loose. Kaya minsan yung loose firing pin, nakita mo meron naman na markings, may kunting di naman, pero it's not sufficient, it's not enough to trigger the or to crush the priming mixture to explode, or a lack of firing pin length. Yan tindi din, di ba? Putol. Una, putol. Pangalawa, loose, gumagalaw, kaya pag palo niya, bumabalik siya gano'n, ha? Tapos kaya hindi niya madiinan. Tapos yung isa naman, maiksi, hindi niya abot. Hirap pala pag maiksi, hindi niya abot yung ating primer. Then after ng the firing pin hitting the primer, the ignition of the priming mixture. So priming mixture is made up of very sensitive material that commonly located in the center portion of the cartridge. In order to ignite the priming mixture, it must be live and potent and must be devoid of any moisture. The delay of explosion of the cartridge after the firing pin subsequently hit the primer is called hang fire. So kanina, the cartridge, the priming mixture failed to explode, ba? Due to, nasabi natin yung tatlo. Yun ang tawag natin doon ay failure to explode is misfire. Then the delay, na meron ng andun na yung action ni firing pin, pero nagkaroon ng delay. Kaya sabi ko nga sa inyo na pag may mga cases na gano'n na pa hindi pumutok, pag nyo sisilipin, mamaya hang fire lang yun. So hang fire na delay, ang tawag naman natin doon ay hang fire, diba? Then what are the probable defects in the content of the primer caps? Ano ba yung mga pwedeng depekto ng ating priming cap na causes na magkaroon ng misfire or hang fire? Next is wet priming mixture due to moisture. Kung mali yung storage mo ng cartridges mo, so nagkaroon ng moisture. Then the anvil is not properly fixed Pag pumunta tayo sa primer sa ating cartridge, mapag-usapan natin yung anvil. Makikita niyo yun. Located yan sa loob, dito sa may ating firing pin sa ating primer. Doon nadudurog yung ating priming mixture. Para siyang horseshoe. Pero maliit yun. No vent or flash hole. So ito ay factory defect. Yung ating anvil walang butas na kung saan dadaanan nung ignition yung apoy ng ating primer pag ito ay para masunugin yung ating gunpowder. Then no priming mixture, which are these are factory defects. So ano pa na-attribute sa ating internal ballistics? Ano yung pinag-usapan nga natin na yun? So attributes of internal or interior or internal ballistics. Una, firing pin hitting the primer. Pangalawa, ignition of the priming mixture. Then next is combustion of the gunpowder. So, umapoy ngayon si ating priming mixture, dumaan sa ating vent or flash hole, pupunta sa ating gunpowder. So, mag-explode na si ating gunpowder. Combustion of the gunpowder. As the primer crashed and ignited, the flash passes through the vent towards the gunpowder that provides the combustion of gunpowder. The next, nasunog na ngayon, nagkaroon ng combustion ng ating gunpowder. Expansion of heated gas. There will be equal expansion of heated gas inside the cartridge after the combustion of gunpowder. Expansion of the heated gas. Gusto niyang lumabas. Kaya lang may batas sa classroom na bawal lumabas. Yan. So gusto na niyang lumabas. Kaya sabi ko nga sa inyo na pag kayo mahilig gumagawa ng pen gun, dapat may consider niyo lahat yan. Mamaya weak yung ating chamber na ginawa o yung ating sa may bridge, sa may likod. Weak yun, pwedeng doon bumigay. Maka-aksidente mo pa sarili mo. The gas expanded in different direction that tends the bullet and shell to separate from each other in the cartridge. The marking created on the shell while inside the chamber is called chamber markings. Dahil sa expansion na yun, sa galaw, sabi niya, ito ay nakalad sa ating chamber. Pero hindi ito ay shotgun shell. Sabi ko nga, mahirap kasi nagpapakita ng... So, yung ating shell ay magkakaroon ng markings. Ang tawag natin doon ay chamber markings. Ngayon, yung pwersa naman sa likod, bukod sa firing pin marks, ay breech end markings, breech face markings. Kakaroon ng markings naman dito sa pitan. Then, pressure after the expansion of the heated gas, pressure developed. When the heated gas created by burning gunpowder charge is developed, a tremendous pressure is produced in the chamber of the firearm, making the marking created on the base of the cartridge by the breech face is called the breech face marking. Dito siya nakatapal, di ba? Sa ating breech face. Tapos doon lumalabas yung ating firing pin. Yan. Then energy generated. Energy refers to the fatal equivalent of bullet compared to a pound that is dropped from certain height. So energy, pag nagkaroon ng pressure nagkaroon ng development ng pressure, magkakaroon ng energy, at yun yung pilit na magtutulak sa ating barrel. Then recoil of the gun. Bakit ba nagkakaroon ng recoil of the gun? Due to the Newton's third law of motion. Sabi niya, anumang bagay na pasulong, meron siyang nakikreate naman na force na palikod. Lalo ito ay dadaan sa rifle bore, sa ating sa may rifle bore na pilit na ganun. So yung puwersa mo, lalo mayroong friction sa barrel, tulak din siyang palikod. So sabi niya dito sa Newton's third law of motion, which states that in every action is always equal and opposite reaction. There is always equal and opposite reaction. The forward movement of the ballot after the explosion results to backward movement of the cartridge case. Recoil of the gun is affected by several things. Yung recoil, yung parang tilapon ng baril pabalik. Pwedeng ito ay affected ng iba't ibang factor. Una, yung paano mo hinahawakan yung bala, yung baril, masyadong maluwag, diba? Masyadong maluwag, kaya lakas nung halos aangat na siya. Ano pa, yung gaan ng ating baril, yung paglagay mo ng compensator sa ilalim, o yung tinatawag ng iba na stabilizer sa baba ng barrel, diba? Paglagay ng bigat yun para maiwasan yung recoil ng ating baril, diba? So tightness which the firearm is held, height of the bore above the center of the stock, line of wrist for pistol, shape of the design of the butt. So tingnan nyo na lang titingnan nyo na lang yung mga kasama, diba? Then the gadget used to minimize the recoil of the gun is called compensator or the muzzle brake. Yung sinasabi ng iba na stabilizer, pero proper term ay the muzzle brake or the compensator. The next is the velocity of the gun. The bullet will travel the bore the bullet will travel the bore of the barrel depending on the powder load of the cartridge. Since it's the powder load that will propel the bullet in the bore of the barrel of the firearm. So yung lakas ng ating bala na paglabas ay depende yan sa ating powder charge. Pero sabi ko nga sa inyo, huwag ninyong depende pala sa powder charge. Hindi tanggalin ko yung powder ng isang cartridge shell, isama ko dito para mas lumakas. Lalakas talaga yung tama nun, sabog pati yung cartridge shell mo, bibigay yun, pati tapos tumilapon yung ibang parts ng baril mo, tumama sa mata mo. So hindi kaya yun ng ating hindi kaya ng wall ng cartridge. Hindi yan yung design na amount ng gunpowder na kaya ng ating cartridge, kaya pwedeng mag-cause ng aksidente. So huwag na tayo makialam dun sa ganung bagay. Yung pwede nating nang gawin sa ating sariling baril, kung hindi naman tayo maalam, linis lang, yung pagtanggal lang natin na pag-separate ng lower tsaka upper receiver, diba? Pag gagamit ka ng tornilyo, pag hindi ka maalam, wag na lang, lalaki ang gastos mo, diba? Tapos yung ito, huwag nating pagkialaman yung ating bala na dadagdagan. Doon sa mga may alam yon, yung nagre-reload para naiko-consider